The way I see it, parents are responsible for the safety of their children 24/7. And this includes being cautious of who's around your kids and who watches them when you're not around. Because when your child's well-being is on the line, you have to be sure. Take a look.
My daughter's injuries, she had a giant bruise on the side of her left face, which was an adult handprint, a black eye, a bruise on her forehead. It looked like a scratch mark on the side of her neck, and a bump and a mark on the back of her head. When I saw the bruises, I didn't know what to do. I didn't take her to the hospital because I thought it could have been an allergic reaction from Kyle giving her chocolate off a Reese's peanut butter cup. So I instantly called her father up. He ended up taking her to the ER. DHS got called, and now I can only have supervised visits with my daughter because she was in my care when it happened.
I love that little girl like she is my own. I didn't even see the marks until the polygraph examiner showed them to me.
Me and Kyle have had an on and off relationship. I know he also looks at my daughter as his own, but she's not. A few days prior to finding these bruises, Kyle met me at my sister's, and I had talked to my sister to see if she could watch my daughter because I had to work that night. Me and Kyle got into a huge fight.
We broke up that night and we went through arguing to the point where the cops got called and we were both let off with a warning, but I still agreed to help watch Teresa's daughter. I brought her back home on Tuesday morning between 9 and 10. When I brought her home, she had no marks on her, and Teresa didn't find out about the marks till Thursday morning.
I'm really curious to see who had did this to my daughter because I know I did not do it.
Amanda, when you're watching that, what are you thinking?
That is beyond.
That's what I thought too.
You do not get those kinds of bruises over a peanut butter cup, and you do not sit and make out with the guy you're accusing of beating your daughter in the back of a car or holding hands with him on the plane right here.
Did you see the injuries to your niece?
I saw pictures.
You saw pictures?
Yeah.
And I mean, your sister, a little delusional, thinking that they came from a peanut butter cup. You don't get a scratch, you don't get a bruise, you don't get a slap mark on your face from an allergic reaction.
No, not at all.
Do you have any idea who did this?
It's hard to say who did it because I don't know where she went.
Did you do it?
No, I would never lay a hand on her daughter or any child.
How is your relationship with your sister?
Horrible.
You don't like your sister?
No, we are only biological sisters.
Right.
And no, we don't get along.
But you helped with watching the child?
Yeah, I help her as much as I can.
Why? You don't like her?
Because there's a child involved.
So you like the child, you just don't like the mom?
I love my niece.
Yeah.
There is nothing I wouldn't do for my niece. This is from her lack of responsibility.
Could your sister have abused her daughter?
She could hit her daughter. I could see it.
How about Kyle? Could he have done this?
Yeah.
He could have.
I believe he's crazy.
You believe he's crazy?
He is. 3 weeks, and he's terribly in love with her daughter.
Let's meet your sister. You say you don't like her at all.
No.
Okay.
Think this is a joke? Do you seriously think this is a joke?
Your daughter's abused. There's bruises on your daughter. And where are you? Where are you, Teresa? You're making out with your ex-boyfriend who you claim you think hit her in the back of a car.
Yeah, repeat the word think. I'm not blaming anyone.
You're accusing him of hitting, and you're making out with him? Really? Why didn't you call the cops? Why did you take your daughter to the hospital? Your first call? The Steve Wilkos show.
Do you believe that your daughter was beaten?
With an adult-sized handprint on the side of her face.
Yeah. You don't believe it was a peanut butter cup?
At first I thought it was because all it wasn't a rash until the bruises started forming.
Right. And the scratch, I mean, kids don't get scratches.
Scratched, I dropped her off at her daycare provider that day. And she woke up and she had the rashes and the scar.
Okay.
May I add, she didn't come get her daughter from that daycare till 1 o'clock the next day.
Wrong.
Her daycare provider had been calling her cell phone looking for you. You were nowhere to be found. She texted me and asked where the hell you were.
I had told the daycare provider I was going to be late because I had to other plans.
Your ex-boyfriend's kid. Yeah, that's right. You had to watch your ex-boyfriend's kid.
What was your other plans?
What?
What were your other plans?
I was watching my other ex-boyfriend's son while he was at work and his mother was there.
So you watched another child over your own?
They were still sleeping. I wasn't going to stop and wake my daughter up just to go.
Do you see those bruises? How many guys do you have calling daddy?
A little child can call anyone daddy. Dad, you name it. She's a baby, for God's sakes.
First of all, I want to know how you guys could ever think I would do this to that child.
Because you were pissed off.
Just because I was pissed doesn't mean that I would have done anything to her.
You know, when you're young, people sometimes have a hard time controlling their emotion. You get in a big fight with her, cops come, you're very highly emotional. You got the little girl in the car, maybe she's crying because she's with somebody that she doesn't know. And she's crying, and maybe give her a smack across the face. You came here because you had babysitted the child and under a little cloud of suspicion. But you came here and took a lie detector test, and we asked you, have you ever struck Teresa's daughter, leaving bruises or marks? You answered no. Around March 23rd, did you cause any of those bruises or marks on Teresa's daughter? You answered no, and the results for Amanda's lie detector test is that she told the truth. Teresa, you took a lie detector test. Did you ever strike your daughter, leaving marks or bruises? You answered no. Around March 24th, did you cause any of those marks or bruises on your daughter? You answered no. The results for your lie detector test is that you told the truth. Kyle, when you had the child in your car, how mad were you when you were in that car?
I wasn't mad at all.
Not at all?
No.
No emotion running high at all?
It doesn't take me long to get over things, honestly. Steve, I've been through so much.
What have you been through?
I was in the military. I've been over in Afghan. I've seen stuff like that.
Any
PTSD?
Yeah,
yes,
PTSD.
I do, Steve.
Yeah, post-traumatic syndrome, right?
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Are you able to control it all the time?
Not all the time.
No. Fly off the handle?
I have flown off the handle once.
You came here and took a lie detector test, and we asked you, have you ever struck Teresa's daughter, leaving marks or bruises? You answered no. Around March 24th, did you cause any of those marks or bruises to Teresa's daughter? You answered no. And the results for Kyle's lie detector test is that he did not tell the truth. Okay, don't run. Don't run. Don't run. You hurt a kid. You hurt a baby.
You hurt my daughter?
You hurt my
The
knee.
best thing to do now, I want you to tell him what you did.
I honestly don't remember hitting her if I did.
If you did. So you
But
could have.
I don't remember.
Don't remember it. Well, that's convenient. And now the baby's in the car with the guy that her mom's fighting with, and you slapped that baby.
There could be a possibility,
Okay,
but
there you
as
go.
far as I remember, I did not.
He injured your daughter.
Your chances are done, and I want to see your ass rotting in jail where it belongs.
Okay.
You might have a serious medical condition. I believe that if you served our country and you were in combat and saw some horrible things, I do believe that you could be suffering from post-traumatic syndrome. And that's not something to be taken lightly. But you should probably be left with nobody's kid either. I mean, that's serious, right?
Yes, it is.
So, knowing that you're a man who served our country, and I admire that very much, but I also admire admitting when you're wrong. I also admire somebody who can tell the truth when it's the hardest to tell the truth. So I want you to look at the mom there and tell the truth.
I hate your daughter.
Okay, you admit it, right?
Yes.
And why did you do it?
I don't know.
Get up. Take it off. Take it off. Hold on. So the scary thing is that you hurt this child. And what happens? We're just going to send you back out in society so you can
No.
hurt somebody else?
No.
I mean, if you'll hurt a child, you'll hurt somebody else. You need to be careful who's watching your child. You need to go home, contact the authorities, and let it play out. You can never, ever give comfort or any part of yourself to a man that hurts your child. So I never, ever want to hear that you're with this guy again.
Oh, trust me, that's never going to happen again.